Hey, what's up everybody? Rob Marzullo here, Ram Studio Comics. Welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to talk to you about how to market yourself as an artist, and you're going to see the progression of the inks that I do on this piece here. But I figured it would be a good opportunity to really talk about this thing that always plagues us artists from time to time, or always. So let's go ahead and jump on into that and see if I can enlighten you just a little. All right, so I get this question a lot. How do I market myself as an artist? And first, I would say, you got to share the work, but more importantly, you got to share the experience. So oftentimes we get in the habit of just showing off our work. Here's my work, check it out. What do you think? And then, we don't even really want to hear what people think. And that can be a huge hindrance, and we'll talk about that as well. But just sharing the work isn't enough. You got to share the experience. You got to bring them into what it is to be you as an artist, and what decisions you make and why you make them. The more you can share that experience with people, the more they'll connect with you. And it's all about connection. Any business, any type of whenever you're trying to further yourself in a marketing or a product or a business or whatever, it's all about the connection and the experience. So you got to really focus on that and share as much of that as possible. Bring them into the studio, make them feel like they're in the studio with you and creating with you, and you're going to do a whole lot better than just saying, hey, check out my awesome art. Because not everybody might think it's awesome, for one, but if you show them that you're still kind of a work in progress, that you're still kind of making things happen, and here's the decisions you made and why, it becomes a lot more of a personal and a connected experience for them. And I think that can be highly important when trying to market yourself. So the other thing, probably point two I would make, is you are the brand. Just remember that your art is what you're trying to show off and get out there. But at the end of the day, you're the brand. So you got to remember that as well. You got to treat yourself as a business person, but also that you're branding yourself, you're getting yourself out there, and just remember that you are the brand. It's not just your art. It's like the art's cool, but if they can't know who you are as a person and really understand a little bit about you that way, they're only going to be so committed to what you're really doing. But if you treat yourself as the brand and you keep that in mind, then you start to realize that there's a lot of ways that you can share that with others. And again, sharing that experience, it kind of ties in with that. But just remember that you are the brand. It's not just your art. Okay, and art is a great marketing tool, so use it. So you got this really cool art, you got this stuff that you love to do, you're passionate about it. So use it. I can't tell you how many artists I've talked to that say, oh, I'm working on my art and I really want to know how to do it and I'm really into this. And I'm like, all right, cool. Where's your portfolio site? What do you got? Well, I'm in the process of setting that up. It's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Why are you even talking to me? Like, and not to sound mean or negative, that sounded almost, high and mighty or something. But what I'm getting at is that you have to, that's the first thing you do. You got to share the work. You got to start a portfolio site. You got to get critical feedback. And if you're scared of all that, then you've got to overcome that hurdle. That's where you start. So get that going. Don't wait. Like I always tell people, don't wait to be great. Do it now. Now is the time. So get moving on it. And the other thing I want to say before we get into, exactly what to do is remember to treat it like a real job. If you don't treat it like a real job, you won't have a job. You essentially don't have a job if you don't treat it like one. So that means producing work consistently and, like a job, a 9 to 5 or whatever hours you want to work. That's totally up to you. That's one of the beautiful things about being a freelance artist or, an illustrator, whatever. But you still have to put in huge amounts of time. It's a highly competitive market. So if you want to be good enough to compete in that market, you got to put in the time, or somebody else will, and their work's going to outshine yours, and then what's the point? So be realistic with yourself, treat it like a job. Like this piece right here, it took longer than it should have. It should have already been done and delivered to the client. The client was actually a winner of a contest on the YouTube channel here. And so this is actually, me having to look at this and go, you know what? I didn't do what I should have did here. This should have already been done. So, and things get in the way and it's hard to keep schedules and doing all this extra curricular stuff that I do. But at the same time, I got to be realistic. This should have got done sooner, and I got to make sure I don't make that mistake again. Luckily, the client was very forgiving, very patient with me, which is awesome, but he didn't have to be. So you got to always remember that. Treat it like a real job. Okay, so I'm going to jump into what to do and what I've done and what's helped me to be semi-successful at this point. The first thing I would say, first and foremost, it's helped me, obviously, starting a YouTube channel. It was imperative. It gave me an outlet. It actually gave me a confidence booster to later on shut down my business of 15 years and pursue just art. But the main thing was it gave me that connection with the audience, and that's the next way I was going to segue into. Connect with your audience. They'll show you the way. You know, if you listen, if you keep your ear to the ground, they're going to tell you. They're telling you right now what's wrong with your art, what could be better, what they'd like to see. You know, even with the little like, dislike thing, and I try not to buy into that too much, but at the same time, you got to be aware of it because that's all information. That's all stuff that you would have had to twist somebody's arm to tell you before. And if there's somebody that cares about you, they're going to say nice things to you. You don't need that. I mean, it's great. It's nice when people say nice things to you. But if they're telling you your art's great out of love and respect for you, that's not really what you need. You need that jerk bag every now and then that's going to tell you how it is, you know? So send your art my way and I'll tell you how it is. No, I'm not good at critiquing. But seriously, you need that, and you've got to identify with that and go, you know what? I want to really know what people are thinking. And the more you keep your ear to the ground, you listen to that, the better you'll get and the better you'll market yourself through that process. Also, collaborate with others. And I don't mean this just with YouTube, but it's really big with YouTube, and that's kind of where I really learned it. I mean, I guess I learned it with collaborating with other comic artists on projects, but YouTube really showed me that it's highly effective and powerful. For one, you learn things by working with other artists that you're, not always going to get by being in your own studio and your own tunnel vision. And then also you share each other's audience, which is amazing and will catapult you to growth, a quicker rate of growth. Also, create products. They strengthen your business and they'll cross-promote one another. And I don't mean just digital products. I primarily do digital art, custom brushes, video courses, all that. You probably know if you watch the channel. Obviously, video tutorials like this one even. So essentially, each one of those that you create strengthens your business. It's like you're putting more legs out there, so you got more to stand on, more to balance off. And then they cross-promote one another. So the more of these you develop, the stronger your business becomes and the better your marketing becomes. So create products, digital or traditional. If you're doing traditional, every time you put another traditional piece out there and somebody sees it, more people see it and interact with it, you're strengthening yourself as an artist and therefore marketing yourself. Teach or at least share the workflow, okay? So you don't necessarily have to be a teacher. I've heard people say, well, I'm not ready to teach and I'm not really a teacher. But you know what? You're always a teacher and you're always a student. At least share the workflow. You don't have to teach somebody, but just show them what you're doing and share that process. They'll learn through that process and they'll appreciate you, and that's huge. And again, that helps to market you, really. Don't do it out of a selfish gain or need, but it does help and helps other people and it helps you in the process, so it's a win-win. And then finally, I'll just kind of close with this. Stay humble and keep your cup empty. So can't stress this enough. If you want people to enjoy working with you and help to promote what you're doing, stay humble. Yeah, because I'll tell you right now, it's pretty hard to learn anything if you think you know it all, and it's pretty hard to listen when your mouth is always going about how great your art is. And I don't mean to sound rude with that. It's just basically, if you want to learn, you got to sit back and listen. And again, that means listening to your audience and growing through the information that they give you, which is very valuable information. So just in closing, the main thing is get started now. So enact the law of momentum, get things going, and let that momentum grow and, kind of further you. The sooner you get started, the sooner that you put these things that I told you into place and into effect, the sooner you can kind of get the reward. So it's just like, the idea of stocks. Start early and let those really benefit you later with compounding interest, or in this case, momentum with the work that you're doing and the marketing that you're doing for yourself. So hopefully this has helped you with a thing or two, and I'd love to know what you think in the comments section below. And keep in mind that you can check out ramstudiocomics.com. There I go, marketing myself again. And I appreciate everybody tuning in and watching this video and listening to me rant. As always, keep drawing, keep having fun, and I will talk to you soon.